Vinyl community. It's Mazzy. And I think this is number 49. Whack-a-mole, number 49. And as I said before, when I hit 50, I'm going to wait. 50 is going to be in the new year, which is coming up. We'll have some kind of 50th contest where all of you who want to participate are going to whack your own mole and showcase your record randomly to me. So, anyway, number 49 in this holiday season of 2019, almost the end of the decade. I have a very extra special guest. You miss her, you saw her. The Archivist is back. I almost said Archivist. The Archivist is back in Seattle, from Tulsa, from Denver, from Austin, from San Francisco, from... The Archivist is back. Amanda.
Hi, VC. How's it going? Cheers.
And we got a perfect martini here and an imperfect martini there.
It's perfect to me.
Vodka, gin. If you've watched these videos in the past, you know what I'm talking about. If you know martinis, real martinis, you know what I'm talking about. Now.
So uppity.
Okay. Whack-a-mole is usually 5 random, but if you followed these before, which I think a lot of you have, if there's any newbies, welcome. Welcome to the Whack-a-mole. It's usually random 5 picks that I pick my collection, showcase them. When I have guests like the Archivist and others, we just kind of hang out and pull things and talk about them. So we might look at albums, I might pull some, they might pull some, in this case, Amanda. It's not totally random, and we're not cheating. It's not cheating. It's just the nature of the branding of, I mean, it's my fucking channel. I can do what I want. Now I got to click the no kids watching box. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, so cheers. Just really quickly, I'm going to start out showing this because I ordered this like months ago, pre-ordered it. But the Fillmore, Hendrix Fillmore, the 6970 50th anniversary New Year's Eve shows, Fillmore East in New York. It's where Band of Gypsies came from. This is the LP version, 8 LPs. I won't get into it. I think there's many other unboxing videos you've seen. Big Hendrix fan here. Hopefully, if you're a Hendrix fan and you haven't watched it, I do have a Hendrix video which I shot on his birthday, where we go to see his gravesite, and a little tribute showing my record collection. So that's just a little intro. So without further ado, we're just gonna jam, pull some records, and talk about them. We just got lounge music in the background, which you might barely hear. As Amanda's pulling things and looking, I'm gonna pull a couple little shout outs, because I just watched Rob from Manchester's, UK Rob from Manchester's, that's not his stage name or his channel name, but he showcased a new album, and a couple weeks ago, or a couple times, he showcased a band that no one else showcased, and I love them, Wooden Ships, and it's spelled S-H-J-I-P-S. I have 3 of their records. They're from San Francisco. They're a little bit of psychedelic, a little bit of electronic. They got this sort of repetitive rhythm pattern, and they're friggin' great. If you get a chance to see them, do check them out. I have 3 of their records. I have this one that I heard in a record store in Seattle. I'd never heard him, even though I'm from San Francisco. I didn't know him in San Francisco. It took me to come to Seattle to watch that. But I got that album, and then this album. And this is called V, Thrill 646. It's V on Thrill Jockey Records. And this is Wooden Ships, Back to Land. Great slipcover. But I really like this band. I know Rob likes it, but he just showcased his top records of the year. Look how psychedelic that looks, right? It's got a gatefold and everything. Woo! Look, ooh, that's trippy. I don't think Amanda is even paying attention now. She's back there pulling some things. I know. Calm down. She'll be here. She'll be here plenty of. But Rob showcased an offshoot band, I think, of Wooden Ships that I might need to check out. And then the last one I have is a live album they put out last year, I think. Is it last year or this year? And it is called Wooden Ships, Ships in the Night, live in San Francisco, June 2018. Kind of beautiful cover, a little kind of psychedelic mandala cover. Just black vinyl. So it's Wooden Ships for Rob. Now we have Amanda. I'll do the other shout out down the line.
Hi, VC. I don't know if you've ever talked about this band or not. Have you?
A little bit. I've mentioned them, but I've never done a showcase. This is good.
Okay. Well, I just noticed that you had all three of these, and I really like this band. I think they're really great. It is the Milk Carton Kids. He has 3 of their albums. One of them I am not familiar with yet, but I really like this band. They're very folky, kind of somber tone, beautiful picking style, lovely, just a kind of, particularly this one is very sparse and dirgy, excellent on a cold winter day, just to warm up the room in the background, I would say. Also have Ash and Clay by the same band, and then this one, Monterey, which is the one I am not familiar with.
Is that the new one, or is there one missing? I think there's one.
This is 2015.
Oh, then I'm missing one. I'll pull
Yeah.
the other one. I think there's another one there.
Oh.
They got a little Simon & Garfunkel vibe.
They
if,
do.
If Simon & Garfunkel wasn't produced, like if you just got them with the guitars, that would be it. Plus, they got a little bit of the Smothers Brothers thing going, because they do a little banter, humorous banter.
Yeah.
You know.
And
one guy's really
a good note. Yeah,
right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Showbox earlier this year, and they did a special tour, and they just played the Tractor Tavern, tiny place,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
sold out, of course.
Of course.
But they're really great. Keep talking about that, because I want to get this. There is another one. There's also, you can go to their website and download. They have some other downloads only too.
They do, yes. Let's see, Prologue, the first one that I heard, came out in 2011. It says on here, although I kind of feel like it was earlier, but that's how time is. And yeah, I don't know that I can really say that much about it, other than I really want people to go out and check them out. What's the other one?
This is their latest album. This album came out
right.
earlier this year, and actually last Friday. I don't have it. Or last 2 weeks, they put out an EP, and you can get it on vinyl too. And haven't ordered it, or you can download it. What's different about this is the first album they put out with other musicians added, and on their last tour, there were other musicians that supplemented. Interesting about that, this was produced by I don't know if those were self-produced, those first ones. Joe Henry produced this one.
Oh, so you know it's gonna be good.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful record.
I haven't heard that one yet
Excuse
either.
me. Oh no.
Yeah, that's
Smash this in the Archivist face. But this one, All the Things That I Did and All the Things That I Didn't Do, by the Milk Carton Kids. Beautiful harmonies. Again, if you like Simon & Garfunkel without all the production, and the Smothers Brothers combined, and there are several videos on YouTube. Watch them perform live. They're just great. They're very charismatic and very low key. Their humor's low key, but it adds to their performance. So I love these guys.
Yeah, wonderful. And actually, Joe Henry does the writing on the back of Monterey.
There you go.
So there's a nice Joe Henry connection there.
Now, before we go on, we want to do a shout out. And Amanda reminded me, because we got a friggin' mutual friend, more of her friend, but I guess you're my friend too. We're gonna shout
all
out.
friends.
We're all friends. Campbell. We're not saying your first name.
It's for you.
It's not Campbell Scott. It's not Glenn Campbell. It's not. What are the Campbells? A lot of Campbells.
Yeah.
Soups. It's not a soup. This is a gentleman who's a big record collector, who apparently sniffs around and like watches everything I post here.
Avid Mazzy channel watcher.
Exactly. And we want to shout out because he has 2 favorite artists that I want to showcase. He basically has, I think, out of his albums, I think 60% of his records are Wilco records. So I'm just going to quickly go through. I'm not a Wilco completist. I'm not going to even pull my Jeff Tweedy records. I do have Jeff Tweedy records. In fact, his last album, Warm and Warmer, were amongst my favorite this year or last year. Anyway, I got this. I'm not going to say them. And also,
and we want to encourage Campbell to start commenting in the comment section.
we want Campbell to comment, and I think Campbell should start. I heard he has a lot of free time right now, so I think Campbell needs to start a channel because he's got good taste in music. But he loves
and
Wilco.
lots to say.
Well, see, you know him better than I do. And I think his other favorite guitar player in history is Eric Clapton. So we got Wilco, we got Star Wars. That's if Princess Leia was a cat, that would be Princess Leia, Star Wars. Look at that fucking barcode. Look, no, seriously, have you seen that barcode? I love that. The Archivist is helping me start my Discogs because we got all my new releases up there. So far I have 150 or 160 on Discogs on my Manhattan Discogs page. I think I got 5,000 records to go, so don't even go bother looking at my collection because it's not representative. But the Archivist is helping me go on that. Wilco, it's just called Wilco, right? Wilco, the album. Yeah. Nice camel. Nice humps, baby. Actually, I love this album too. I know a lot of people don't like, or I've heard non-professionals didn't like the Wilco, this one, Schmilko, but I kind of like it. Oh, I don't have it here, but upstairs I have their new album. I'm not quite sure about the one that came out this year. Of course, everyone loves Foxtrot. You know the story. They put an album out, or was about to put an album out. Again, if Campbell was here, he would say it, and he would be able to tell you more than I do. So I'm going to make this shit up, Campbell. So they want to put this record out. They deliver it to the record company. The record company turns them down. They basically don't let them put the record out because they hate it. So Nonsuch puts it out, and the rest is history. This really kind of put them over. It's a very, in a way, it's kind of avant-garde. It is very non-commercial, but it's a stunning album. Beautiful record with that beautiful photograph from those two Chicago towers. And I have a friend that I went and visited a few years ago. They used to live in Chicago. He worked for an ad agency there, and he lived in this building, so I got to visit that apartment in there. So it's nothing to do with music, but it's photography. Is that Am or Ma? Oh, I'm dyslexic. Oh, so I'm looking in the camera here. Looks like Ma. And this is not Wilco, but it's an album that starts with a W. Who? Sorry. Who? That's like a Dr. Seuss. Wilco, here's a who. Okay.
Oh, funny.
I'm here all day. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Okay.
This time of year, I really like nice warm sounds, particularly because it's really cold up here in Seattle right now, rainy. I like things that kind of bring out that kind of summer warm, like, brightness. And I have had an itching to play Muddy Waters Folk Singer. It's an excellent album. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but if you haven't, I strongly encourage it. It's got tons of classic folk songs on it. It's a double LP.
Well, this one is a 45 RPM analog production, so it's audiophile. It was basically a single record. Any version, just get it.
Yeah, it's so good.
If anybody's an audiophile and you want stunning things, I have like a handful, maybe 20 or 30. That's considered a handful for me. 45 RPM records that are cut wider grooves that sound friggin' amazing. But I don't like a lot of them because you got to get up every 10 minutes instead of a full side of 20 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But this sounds awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
It's got My Home is in the Delta, Long Distance, My Captain, Good Morning, Schoolgirl, which is a great little song. You're Gonna Need My Help, Cold Weather Blues, Big Leg Woman, Country Boy, and Feel Like Going Home. This is a classic. Check it out, please. Go find it because it's well worth a listen.
And again, the analog production version has some gatefold insets.
Photos.
The original didn't have this, but you know, you don't have to get all wonky. But I got this at one of the sales, I think at Music Direct a number of years ago. And didn't I give you this record? No.
No.
I gave you
Mississippi.
Sorry, I confused my folk blues singers here. So So again, we're just pulling records. We're doing whack-a-mole. That's not the usual kind of whack-a-mole. And then maybe at the end we'll do a little, we'll see how the archivist puts records away.
The same way everyone else does.
Okay, so.
One at a time.
Oh, didn't we show? I already showed that.
Sorry for the downtime, guys.
You know, I don't remember. You know, sometimes you don't remember what you've shown before. And when I do whack-a-moles, occasionally I get the same record back. So, I don't want to. I want to show something different that I haven't shown in a while, or I haven't shown at all. I mean.
It's always hard to do.
I'm a big folk music fan, and I know there are a few of you out there, but one of my favorite folk duos, Canadian folk group duos, are Ian and Sylvia. Look at this record. I don't know, I have two records, like it's fucking sealed. In the Early Morning Rain, which is it Early Morning Rain is on this record? Yeah, that's written by the other Canadian. What's his name? If you could read my mind. Come on, Gordon Lightfoot. In the Early Morning Rain. I think that's a Gordon Lightfoot song, right? You Canadians will know that. I want to do a full Canadian thing because Ian and Sylvia. Ian and Sylvia Tyson. Gorgeous record. Straight ahead folk. I think Ian Tyson wrote one of the great folk songs of all time that's been covered by everyone, including Neil Young and many, many more. And it's called Four Strong Winds. And I forgot which album it's on here, but these are my Ian Sylvia records. If you watch my folk music, you know, there's only a handful. I find most of the folk lovers around here on the VC happen to be a lot of the people from the UK, right? Fat man with a beard, fat man record with a beard, big fat beard man. You know what I'm talking about. No, that's his name. That's your channel. I'm not offending you. I love that. Another big fat man with a beard. There we go. Is that right? You don't know. She doesn't know.
I don't know.
She doesn't watch them all either. Play. This one's great too. Ian Simon, play one more. Ian and Sylvia, Love and Sound. And what's considered a real breakthrough record. Again, not a lot of people know it. That's a little more different. They recorded it at Bearsville, and who produced it? But this is an amazing album. Ian Sylvian's Great Speckled Bird, a classic record. It's a must for any. Let's see. Yeah, of course, Todd Rundgren. That's his studio. Todd Rundgren produced this. So Todd Rundgren, one of the great producers who really produces all genres. We've talked about him with producing XTC and The Tubes. Is it The Tubes? That was Al Cooper. I'm mixing sometimes I know Al Cooper and Todd Rundgren are two separate people, but sometimes I get them confused in terms of their productions. But Bearsville is where Todd Rundgren used to live. But this is an amazing album. Again, it's more produced than the straight folk records. Ian and Sylvia Tyson. Amos Garrett on lead guitar, Buddy Cage on steel guitar, Ian Tyson on rhythm guitar, bass, Ken Kalmusky, David Briggs on piano, and you'll know David Briggs from Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So, an amazing record. Really a wonderful record. Not be for everybody here, but it's a Mazzy recommendation if you're getting into the folk scene, a little different thing. Great Speckled Bird by Ian and Sylvia. I'm thinking like 1970, 71. Oh, 1969. 50 years. You want to say happy birthday to this album? 50 years.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Great Speckled Bird. Okay, I've been wanting to do I taped a whole video of my friend Vernon, who passed away a few months ago in September. And I did a video called Eulogy. It's almost an hour. And it's in the queue, and it's already uploaded, and it's on private. I keep thinking I want to redo it because it's an emotional take on it. But my point is, he turned me on to so much great music because he hired me in a record store, and this is one of the records that Vernon turned me on to, Great Speckled Bird. And I remember during those record store days at that store in San Francisco, this was in the, the cutout bins or the cheapo bins. You could get it for like, $2 or whatever it was at the time. So anyway, I'm showcasing this. Ian and Sylvia. We're fusing idioms, we're mixing genres here on Mazzy's channel.
I'm going to talk about...
Just that one record or the whole band?
I just want to talk about this one.
Okay.
I think. You're welcome to join in.
No, go ahead.
Let's see if I can get it in there in frame. The Flying Burrito Brothers, Burrito Deluxe. And I want to talk about this record, actually, because I had a conversation not too long ago with someone who didn't realize that Graham Parsons was in a band that was called the Flying Burrito Brothers, and they didn't know that Leon Russell actually played on the album. And I think that's really great. So I got to share that with somebody, and I hope that they did actually look it up.
Are they watching?
I don't know.
You're going to send them the link. They're watching.
I
you
hope
know
they
you're
will.
watching.
Yeah, if you'll know it's you.
You're you. Campbell's you. All you got. All yous.
All the yous. Check it out.
Amanda's yous.
So here's the back. And I just want to say on this record, really great array of people, including, Leon Russell. Let's see. Who else?
Sneaky Pete. Well, he was in the band, right?
Yeah, Sneaky Pete was in the band. He played the pedal steel.
Michael Clark, an original member of the Byrds, is on drums. Chris Hillman from the Byrds. So you got two of the original Byrds plus Graham, who was
in the Byrds for a minute.
Yeah, for like a minute.
I don't know. I guess there's a cover of Wild Horses on here by the Stones. There's If You Gotta Go by Dylan. Lazy Days, High Fashion Queen, both written by Graham, and some others that he co-wrote with other people.
Sin City's on here? No.
No,
it's on the other one.
It was on the other one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Graham was only on 2 of their records.
He was, but in my opinion, they're the 2 of my favorite of their records.
Yeah, this is your...
Of the 2,
That's fine.
His participation makes these my favorite of all of their records, I think. Anyway, let's see, when was it put out? I can't remember exactly.
I think it's 70, I think. Because the first one's 69. Graham, the only time I saw the Burritos with Graham Parsons at Altamont, and then of course, fucking Graham Parsons gets on the helicopter with the Stones and just leaves. Doesn't say goodbye. Well, I don't know if he said goodbye, but he basically, that was the end of him with the Burritos, and hung out in London with the Stones, getting fucked up.
But that did yield other good things.
And this might have been later, because the song you're talking about, Wild Horses, was written about Graham Parsons.
Yes.
By the Stones on Sticky Fingers.
Full circle.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful fucking song. Anyway, go check this out if you have never heard of the Flying Burrito Brothers. Can't say enough wonderful things. A&M
Records.
Yeah.
I'm showing these just because. Now this one I never see here. I don't. Barry Mcguire, Eva Destruction. Okay, Eva Destruction.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows that single. It was, though, the B-side of the single. And DJ started playing that when this came out. What year is that? I don't even know. But Hal Blaine is on it. Larry Knechtel, P.F. Sloan, Tommy Tedesco. Basically, you got your Wrecking Crew backing this up. But that was the B-side. And it was written by P.F. Sloan. There's a later album that P.F. Sloan does a cover of it. He was this young kid, literally. I think he was like 17, 18. He wrote that song, and somehow Barry Mcguire got it. I'm going to blank this. Barry Mcguire, I believe, sang with the New Christie Minstrels. Is that the right one? It wasn't a Kingston Trio. One of those folky, up with people, Americana folk groups of the early 60s. But that song became this huge anthem. It almost haunted him. It became so big. But this is kind of a cool album. This is an original copy. on ABC Paramount, I think, a Dunhill record, which is part of ABC. But this is the record that I never see on the VC. And this is a record that I highly suggest, especially you folkies like big fat men with a beard. I just like saying that. And hope, anyway. But this record, Barry Mcguire and the Doctor on A&M Records, this is about 72, I'm thinking. Produced by Art Podell and Nick Woods. And except the song South of the Border. The South of the Border was produced by Lou Adler. You all know Lou Adler produced the Mamas and Papas. Not you all. I shouldn't say like you necessarily know these things. Y'all. This is a Southern girl here. That's why I say that around the Archivist. Really a great record. With that song, Eric Horde is the Doctor on this. He plays with Barry Mcguire, but I never see this record. I never hear about this record. I only know one friend of mine that owned this record, Barry Mcguire and the Doctor. And it was Ode Records, and look at that, Ode 70s label. I know people hate when I touch the record. I get fucking people saying, I don't like the way you hold your 45s. I don't like the way you hold your records. Well, I've had these records for 50 years and they're fine. Give me a break. There we go. Ode. Who was on Ode? What's the biggest selling artist record ever on Ode Records? Do you know that?
No.
Tapestry, Carole King.
Awesome.
Produced by Lou Adler, I think, right? But this is a cool record. Almost like Americana. See, Americana is like bandied about in so many ways. Oh, I got a little out of the light there. So anyway, highly suggested, folk kind of a little more produced, but really good. Byron Berlin is on it. Chris Hillman's on it. Wow. See, all these people that you country-ish, folk rock folk people will know about. Rocky Hilton, Bernie Ledden, you know, Michael Clark, Birds, Burritos, Eagles, you know, no Wilco. Sorry, Campbell. No Wilco, no. Oh, we should throw every Eric Clapton record. No.
So I want you to help me talk about this, but I want to tell a story, okay?
I probably don't know. Go ahead.
So, while I was in grad school, becoming the archivist, as Mazzy likes to say, I worked on a collection at the Dolph Briscoe Center for American History, that documented a kind of a armchair folklorist, song hunter that documented a lot of Central Texas blues artists. And while I was working on that project, I heard in all of the oral histories the guys talking about Bobby Blue Bland. And I just realized that Mazzy has, of course he has, 2 of Bobby's records. And so we have the best of Bobby Bland and volume 2. And volume 2 recorded in Los Angeles, but the first was recorded in Houston, Texas at Do Records. There is not a date on this exactly. Let's see. No, not a date, but it actually, working on this collection, hearing this guy's name, kind of got me to go and check him out, and it was great. I totally fell in love with his guitar playing, and I just, please join in and tell the story. How did you come across
Bobby Blue Bland?
Yeah.
Well, again, okay. It works backwards. All us white boys, all us young white boys in the 60s and 70s, and a lot of, not just in America, but in the UK, got into the blues from mostly the UK blues people, like Eric Clapton, the Yardbirds, Jeff Beck, all those bands. In America, though, a couple songs on this album, I got into the Grateful Dead turned me on. Being in San Francisco, and the Grateful Dead, not just San Francisco, but into psychedelic music. The Grateful Dead did a lot of covers. I've talked about this before. I got into Marty Robbins, did El Paso and Big Iron, and I went back and discovered and looked for the originals. But on here, they do Turn On Your Love Light. Well, the Grateful Dead, I think it was on their first album, and plus the live records did Turn On Your Love Light. Pigpen sang it for all you Deadheads. Further Up the Road. Eric Clapton and others, I think, and the Dead actually covered that. So the Bobby Blue Bland, in fact, also later in the 70s, as I said, I worked for ABC Records, and some of his records at the time, unfortunately, I don't have those records here because I traded a lot of vinyl in the mid-90s. But Bobby Blue Bland, I got his blues records, and I got B.B. King records on ABC Records, and a lot of those. So I just got into a lot of this stuff at the time. You know, working in record stores, you get turned on to so much stuff. And even the FM stations in San Francisco, KMPX is considered one of the first underground stations, and KSAN would mix rock and roll and Ravi Shankar and blues and folk and I almost knocked my martini on Bobby Blue Bland. It would be Bobby Blue Bland with an olive.
Anyway, super great. Love his voice. Check him out.
I'm going to show. You know, you just listen to you get a little snooty. I mean, it's great. The digital gramophone here has this contest going on. It's still going on till I think it's going on through till 2047. You have your deadline, so you got some years. But I just had a brain freeze. Oh, he talks about top 5 from the movie High Fidelity.
Oh, yeah.
God, it looks like those little High Fidelity. You know, your top 5 this. Come here, your top 5 whatever. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh. There you go. Yeah. Now we're working.
But all this kind of music, and I just forgot what I was going to say, my point of view, but that's why it's great showing this stuff, because you got your top 5 of this that leads to that and whatever. I'm showing Green on Red. Green on Red, this is 1985. I have 2 of the records. I think they had several others. And the main guy, Dan Stewart, I think is his name. Dan Stewart started this record. They were kind of that, I'm not going to say post-punk because it wasn't that, but it was the mix of things that became, like, years later, bands like Wilco, Chris Campbell. Oh, it's Mr. Campbell. Sorry, I used your first name. Do I have to erase that? Oh, there's Chris Campbell. There's probably a million Chris Campbells in the phone book. Anyway, Green on Red, really cool stuff. He compares it to Crazy Horse and Neil Young. It's that kind of rock and roll, in a way like Dream Syndicate. If you don't know Dream Syndicate, that's another band, and I've mentioned them before, because after I went to see them in the 80s several times, and they reformed about 4 or 5 years ago, and they have 2 albums since, which are very, very good. And they're connected with that whole REM post baseball club projects. You know how everyone's got a friggin' project now? It's not just, you know, in my day, you'd have a band and you put another album. You wouldn't have a separate project. Plastic Ono Band wasn't a project for John Lennon, you know, all that kind of stuff. But now everything is a project, right? We could do just a whole video on projects. So, Green on Red, this album, No Free Lunch, this is 85. Well, they're both 85, I believe. 1985. Oh, this is an EP. EP, Green on Red, No Free Lunch. These are really cool records, and like I've had this record since 85, and I still have the hype sticker on it, which I don't know why I did that, but on Enigma Records, and this is on Mercury Records. Look them up. I think the Archivist went into the ethnic thing, because I know what she's looking for. It's at the very beginning, under A, on the second row, if you're looking for Analog Africa. Right?
I thought, but it's very close.
Okay, so I'm here alone. I'm going solo here.
Very close.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about the Eccentric Soul releases by Numero. I don't know how many of you know the Numero label, what they're doing, their whole story. I won't go into it right now, but as a label, they are jamming out there. They are an Archivist's dream, I'll tell you that. And I would love to work for them any day of the week, all day long, 24/7. I would never sleep. It's that cool. Let's see. So the inside of this gatefold, you'll see, has tons of amazing archival photos, lots of information, which you always want to do. This is 001. The capsule label. So basically, they go
You gave me
in.
that record, didn't you?
I did. And
It's
it's
a gift
so good.
from the Archivist, Archivist to Mazzy.
I don't want to go try and explain everything that they're doing, but I do want to say how much I love and appreciate the pains and the detail and the absolute labor of love that is the Numero label. They are just a dream come true. They're out there preserving sound and re-releasing it and doing it beautifully. Go check it out, please. And also this particular, the capsule label, I really liked, and I gave it to my dear friend. And I don't know if I think he listens to it occasionally.
I do.
I think he likes it.
It's numero uno.
It's numero uno for Signor Numero Uno.
Oh,
Aww.
pitter patter. I picked out a random record because I like this record, and it's in the dump bins a lot. John Kay, The Sporting Life, especially this opening song. Maybe not the opening song. Easy Evil might be the last song if that's out of order. Anyway, Easy Evil. You know who John Kay is? John Kay is the lead singer of Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild.
Totally.
Right? ABC Dunghill. Also, Steppenwolf was on ABC Dunghill. This is a brilliant record. Larry Knechtel, Danny Kortchmar, Lee Sklar, Russ Kunkel, all those studio musicians around that early 70s period of time are on it, plus others. It's really good. But, I don't know the album in terms of mentioning songs all the time, but I love Easy Evil. It's a perfect song, lyrics, road shot, Remember, this is just, a year or two after, 73. So it's 4 years after Easy Rider. 1973, John Kay. Did you give up already? She's given up. We want to, one more thing to close out. We'll each pick one more thing. You can find something. No, you're giving up? Okay.
I'll find something else if you
We're
want.
going to close out. We're going to close out
Okay.
because... Da 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 da. Okay, this is boring for everybody.
I know. Sorry.
All right. No, okay.
You can talk about Donovan.
Donovan. We love Donovan. All right. I can't remember now who showed this record, but my closeout couple, someone showed Terry Reid. Terry Reid, The River, cult status album. Got this album again when it came out. Really great record. Now Terry Reid, I'm totally gonna fuck this up. I can't remember if Terry Reid, I think he was one of the people considered to join the Rolling Stones instead of Mick Taylor. I could be wrong with that one. It wouldn't be Led Zeppelin, but anyway, no, wouldn't be that because no one left. Amazing record, not for everybody. There's an album he did on Epic Record called Bang Bang, You're Terry Reid. Everyone thought he'd become like super famous, and he really didn't, so he got cult status. Someone showed this, was it Dots and Loops or someone else? No, it wasn't Dots and Loops. And I apologize, I don't really always remember who did what. And then a few years ago in Light in the Attic, we're going back to Light in the Attic, and Rhino did this issue. And this is an issue that has the other side of the river, that has alternate outtakes, demo stuff of the same record. So I love this. I think this might have been I don't know if it was a record store day, just a limited edition maybe. But Terry Reid, I believe he's still alive. And someone's going to tell me this because, you all know more than I do. But I know enough to get you thinking about something you didn't know before. So if you didn't know it, or you just thought you knew it, or you had a repressed memory thing Now you know it, and Mazzy's making you know it, and it'll come out now, and you'll write in the comments down here. And even that, maybe you'll even subscribe. And I'm not really a hawker of subscription, but I looked at my analytics, and 50% of my viewers are subscribers. 50% are just casual ships in the night. So there you go. Any last minute?
I can't find what I was looking for, so.
So that was it.
That's it.
Anyway, we'll do more. We probably won't do more whack-a-moles. We got a couple of themes, and now since
We got some themes brewing.
since Bo and the Omaha introvert, they're kind of like. I mean, we're kind of like them. We're the Sonny and Cher of the VC.
Are we? Except.
I got you,
except
babe.
without all the fucking beating.
He wasn't a beater, was he? I don't have my sheepskin vest on either. I got you, babe. You say we're long, we'll pay the rent. Da 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 da.
Okay.
Babe. AVC, Mazzy loves you.
Love you.
Take care.